Most men touch women like they are asking for permission, and that is exactly why nothing happens. When you reach for her hand like you are apologizing. When you put your arm around her shoulder like you are checking if it is allowed. When you touch her back with hesitation in your fingertips, she feels it. Not just the touch itself, but the doubt behind it. In that moment, something inside her goes quiet, and the part of her that was starting to feel something simply stops. Dr. Sophia explains that a mature woman does not fall in love with what you say. She does not fall in love with how you look or what you do for a living. She falls in love with how you make her feel in her own body when you are near her. That feeling often begins with touch, but not the kind most men assume. There are specific types of touch that bypass her logic, soften her defenses, and create an emotional gravity that is difficult to ignore. These are not tricks, and they are not manipulative moves. They are forms of communication that her nervous system understands when words are not enough. When you understand this language, you do not chase attraction. You cultivate it through presence. And awareness. This is not about aggression, and it is not about pushing past boundaries. It is not about forcing a move or overpowering someone's comfort. What truly works with a woman who is emotionally mature, experienced, and self-aware is grounded in attachment psychology, neuroscience, emotional regulation, and lived experience. Real connection is built through safety, attunement, and authenticity, not performance. Most advice focuses on when to touch or where to touch, yet very few people talk about the energy behind it, the intention and the presence that accompanies it. A mature woman has experienced being touched by men who wanted something from her, by men who were trying to prove something, by men who were nervous, entitled, or performing confidence. She is no longer impressed by that. What she responds to is a man who touches her from a place of internal calm, who is not trying to get somewhere, who is not trying to extract a reaction, whose touch feels like an offering rather than a request. Many men fail before they even begin because they misunderstand the role of touch. You meet a woman, there is chemistry. You talk, you laugh, perhaps you share coffee or drinks. The conversation flows. She seems engaged, yet nothing shifts. Either you do not touch her at all, or if you do, it is so timid and fleeting that it registers as neutral. A quick tap on the arm or a brief brush of the hand does not create emotional resonance. On the other hand, some men escalate too quickly, touching her lower back before any emotional foundation is built, reaching for her hand without connection, hugging her as if trying to force intimacy. In both cases, the outcome is similar because she does not feel aligned with the energy. The touch is either invisible or intrusive. Touch is not a mechanical action. It is a conversation. If your touch communicates nervousness, neediness, or an agenda, her body will subtly create distance even if her words remain polite. There are 3 psychological triggers that make touch meaningful. The first is certainty without agenda. A mature woman has often experienced uncertainty in men, hands that hesitate midway, gestures that feel like questions instead of statements. Uncertainty does not create safety, and safety is what allows desire to emerge at a nervous system level. Certainty does not mean dominance or control. It means clarity and groundedness. When you touch her with calm assurance, without seeking approval yet still respecting boundaries, she feels steadiness. That steadiness communicates self-trust. The second trigger is escalation through stillness. Depth is more powerful than speed. When you remain present in a touch rather than rushing to the next move, her body has time to register it. Stillness signals comfort and confidence. It communicates that you are not in a hurry and not trying to prove yourself. The third trigger is touch that holds emotion rather than intention. If you are touching her solely to get a reaction, she senses it. If you are touching her because you genuinely feel connected in that moment, the honesty of that emotion is transmitted through your body language, your breathing, and your eye contact. Emotional congruence is what lowers defenses. Asterisk examples of meaningful touch include a grounded palm placed on her lower back while guiding her through a doorway, held for a few seconds with calm presence. This can communicate awareness and attentiveness when done respectfully and in context. A slow handhold with gentle thumb movement can create intimacy during quiet moments because it signals attentiveness. A light touch on the forehead or temple when she is sharing something vulnerable can communicate reassurance if the relationship has established comfort and consent. An anchored hand on her shoulder while maintaining eye contact can convey presence and focus. Cupping her face gently with both hands during a mutually charged moment can feel emotionally intense because it reflects vulnerability and openness. A gentle pull at the waist, when clearly welcomed, can communicate desire in a direct yet respectful way. Even a lingering hug goodbye, held slightly longer with mindful awareness, can create a subtle sense of connection that lingers after separation. Asterisk all of these forms of touch only work when they are authentic and welcome. Consent, mutual interest, and emotional attunement are essential. If you imitate gestures from a script without genuine feeling, the hollowness will be felt. If you attempt to manufacture love or manipulate emotions, the incongruence will show in your micro-expressions and tension. The practice is not about memorizing techniques, but about cultivating presence. Choose what feels natural, remain attentive to her verbal and nonverbal responses, and adjust with respect. Notice her breathing, her posture, her engagement. Attraction often grows in unspoken spaces where safety and authenticity meet. Asterisk Dr. Sophia emphasizes that a mature woman does not fall in love with performance. She falls in love with who you are when you are with her. Touch can be a powerful channel of communication, yet it must always be grounded in respect, emotional honesty, and consent. When you are present, certain, and internally at peace, your touch reflects that state. Confidence is not about force. It is about alignment between intention and action. When that alignment exists, attraction is not chased. It is allowed to unfold naturally.